Very good evening to all of you. In our last lecture, we talked about the interaction of organisms in a population. We discussed that there are various means of interaction, which includes these means, which are mutualism, competition, predation. So we completed up to predation, and today we will continue further. So these are the things we discussed about competition, and we have to talk about the competition of different organisms. We talked last time about the Abingdon tortoises. They were quite abundant in Galapagos Island. Once goats are introduced into that island, due to the greater browsing efficiency of goats, that means tortoises have very slow speed and they cannot travel a lot of distance for harvest of their food. But goats are having ability to move faster. So what happened is tortoise, when they are competing with other tortoise, all of them has equal ability to be mobile. So there was no problem. But in presence of goats were overpowering these tortoise. And then slowly and steadily these tortoises were extinct, which is very uh, sad. Okay. Now, we will talk about competitive release. What do we mean by competitive release? Actually, it is exactly opposite to the one we talked about the Galapagos tortoise. Here in this case, if the competitor is removed, in first case, the competitor was introduced in the system. Who was the competitor? Goats. And it was competing with whom? Tortoise. In this case, the competitor is removed from the ecosystem. So what will happen? We ourselves will be only the king. So there was one experiment demonstrated as Cornwell's field experiments. He performed it in the Rocky Sea coast in the Scotland. So there were two species of barnacles. What are barnacles? They are a kind of animals which are produced on the surface of rock. Okay, they are a kind of cylindrical. So these barnacles, one of them is Balanus. It is larger and superior in competition. And second one is Chathelmanus, and it is smaller. So till the time Balanus was present, it was dominating the area, and the Chathelmalus was predominated by the Balanus. When Cornwell removed Balanus from that area, so Chathelmalus was able to colonize in the area which they never dared to colonize due to presence of Balanus. Two types of organisms are there. One is Balanus, other one Chathelmalus. If Chathelmalus was not having ability to predominate Balanus, so in presence of Balanus, it will intertidal area. What is the intertidal area? Intertidal area means the area where tide is formed. You must have seen in the sea that inside the sea is very calm and cool. Rarely, if there is any kind of storm, then the sea is getting mad. The tides are formed near the shore, isn't it? Because at that part, the water is striking the land and the tide is formed. So this intertidal part was predominated by whom? By the Balanus. Chathelmalus was not having ability to grow in that area. They avoid the area. But when this person named Cornwell removed Balanus intentionally from that area, Chatham Palace was very comfortably growing in the Himalayan. Why? Because the competition is not there. No one is there to say threat them. So they can comfortably go. So in an ecosystem, the insertion of a new organism is important as well as removal is important. In your class, if any new student is coming, you will have some kind of hustle and bustle in the ecology of this class because one biotic component is introduced. Similarly, if there is any change in the teacher, again same. So if any teacher is leaving also, that will have some kind of things in your ecosystem of the class. So it is described by both these things. Now, there is one principle which is called Gauss competitive exclusion principle. What is this? It states that two closely related species competing for same resource cannot coexist indefinitely, and the competitively inferior one will be eliminated eventually. Means competing for same resource means both of them are having the same. For example, food. Okay, here one pictorial example is there that the smaller species of bird, which is yellow in color, it was previously having ability to rule on whole tree. No competitor was there. Then there was introduction of a red bird, which were competing with the yellow bird for the resources. Now, red is dominating the middle part of the tree and more abundant resources it is going for. So, two options are left with yellow. One, you try and find some alternative. Because middle part to उनको मिलने वाला नहीं. Red is more powerful. So, what they did, you can see these yellow birds previously used to survive on the middle part. Now they don't go there. They will go for the upper part or the lower. If they cannot make such kind of adaptation or adjustment, what will happen? They will be extinct. They will be extinct. So this is the Gauss competitive exclusion principle. Why it is called competitive exclusion? Because in competition, one of the species will be excluded. The one which is weaker will be excluded. Survival of the fittest, said by Darwin, correctly said. So, if you are talking about coexistence, in that case, you have to go for resource partition. हम कर लेते इस क्लास जैसे कुछ बच्चे बोलते मुझे तो यही बेंच पसंद. अब श्यामा की इच्छा थी वो सेकंड बेंच में बैठे, मिश्का बैठ गई, तो वो बेचारी के पास दो ऑप्शन है. एक वो मिश्का के साथ मारामारी करे जिसमें अभी उसको डेंगू हुई है, जीतने की चांसेस कम है, तो शी सॉर्टेड फॉर द थर्ड बेंच. आई एम जस्ट जोकिंग. Such kind of jokes you will forget what is resource partitioning, but this joke you will remember, and in exam you must be writing something. That's why I crack such joke. Shama and Vishnu. And if you are intelligent enough, you can easily convert them into some kind of sentences. So this is the idea. Definitely when I am teaching, I give such examples so that some sound of laughing should be there. Otherwise, people make face and speak. You want to kill us? Not this is your face. I get that. You should be always smiling and learning. Okay. So this is all called resource partitioning. Nakshatra is still having that face, or behind mask I cannot. So some other scientists called MacArthur or Wardlers MacArthur actually worked on warblers which were living on the tree, and he observed that they can coexist quite nicely because they are partitioning the resources. Why? You can see 5 types of warblers are there. Okay. How they did resource partition? They changed the timetable of their. Some of them are coming in the night time. Some of them are coming in the evening time. Some of them are coming for the food harvest during the morning time. The way is this room is used by all grades of students. Every day, different schedule. So consider how birds must be knowing about their timing. Do they have smart watches or mobile phone or alarm clock? How they decide? They can track the sun. They can track the position of sun and decide about the time. Okay. So this was more corroborated by the MacArthur that resource partitioning is possible. So after discussion a lot about competition, we will now talk about parasitism. So what is this parasitism and who are parasites? Parasites are coexisting with the host. Now parasites will be solely dependent on host. The bad part of parasite एक statement होती है हिंदी की जो इन पे बिल्कुल फिट होता है जिस थाली में खाते उसी को छीने. We are best example of जिस थाली में खाते उसी को. They are least bothered about well-being of these organisms, and what they do, they actually cause harm to the host. Parasites can be endoparasites or exoparasites. All disorders generally are endoparasites, but there can be some exoparasites like dandruff. Dandruff are caused by fungal infection. And do not worry, those dry, sticky things coming out in your hand are not fungus. They are skin. You cannot catch hold of fungus and come out. Similarly, in case of yeast, they are ectoparasites. If a person is very dirty, skin they have bugs, especially if they are very much in love with their dogs. Because dogs have this, and they have lots of fur. They are not cleaned properly. They are not sanitizable, trained. They don't take bath every day. They have such problems. And if you are try spending good time with your dog, then you can have those things. All of them are ectoparasites. Now the thing is that we are going to learn something new here. There is a host-parasite relationship which helps them to co-evolve. I will give you one example. Have you studied animal kingdom classification? You must have observed that when I am talking from starting from the Porifera and going up to the human being, in every case there is something new in the next line. But in some cases there are characteristics lost. For example, if I am talking about Porifera, then Vidaria, then Ctenophora, they are well developed, developing slowly. They are having some kind of thing called digestive system. But when I am talking about flatworm or platyhelminthes, parasitic platforms do not have digestive system. This is caused as a character loss. This type of things are called retrogressive evolution. Have you ever wondered, in evolution key, fungi is coming above algae. Fungi is more improved than the algae. Then it should have chlorophyll plus something extra, but it doesn't have. This type of evolution, retrogressive evolution. We are going back in evolution. So, why platyhelminthes do not have digestive system? because they are staying in the digestive system of host. They are getting ready-made digested food. Why they should go for digestion? Why to have one extra system which is useless? That's why they don't have digestive system. So many such kind of co-evolution is observed. Okay, so you can see this is Cuscuta, which is a parasite, the yellow one. It is called Amarvel in Hindi. And if you are traveling in a highway, many a times you can see such kind of golden colored parasites are clinging from the trees. Trees are full of these parasites. Initially green in color and then they turn golden. So many a times we think, okay, this is a new tree species. This is a unfortunate tree species which is invaded by parasite. You can see parasitic wasp larvae emerge from caterpillar. So how sad it is for caterpillar. Inside the body of caterpillar, the parasitic wasp larvae nurturing. So this is very sad. Similarly, house louse. I was talking about extra love with the. So what are the adaptations in parasites? They don't have sense organ. They don't require because there is a vector which is responsible, vector or mode of transmission, which is there. Think about sense about things. For example, in case of flatworm, Taenia solea, if a person is having teniasis, हमने पढ़ा भी है लाइसेंस, then stool of that person is taken care by the pig. I am not using that word either. It is ugly. Will be taken care by the pig. Pig is having sense organ. Taenia soleum doesn't require sense. Second thing is presence of adhesive organ. Consider we are doing running, twisting, tumbling, we are eating food, drinking water, but Taenia soleum will stick to your intestine. Every day, peristaltic movement is there. Doesn't matter. How strong sucker it is having, which it is sucking to you. You know, I don't know if you know about leech, Hirudinaria granulosa. If it is biting any animal, especially in areas where lot of rain is there and humidity is there, you are going in forest, you will be coming with some of your friends. And you will not realize they are in your घर आके आप ड्रेस चेंज करोगे तब आप देखोगे आपके पैर में 8-10 दोस्त लेके आए हो आप they are there enjoying your blood because you will not feel that pain and they have one special chemical which will not allow the blood to clot वो आराम से आपका blood and trust me if a leech is having this much size after drinking blood it can stretch itself फिर आप उसको खींचो स्किन के साथ उखड़ के आएगा बहुत दर्द होगी डोंट डू put some salt it will itself get better और फिर अगर उसको आप पीस के मारो इतना खून निकलेगा मतलब you will realize so they don't have digestive system as I told you and they have high reproductive capacity why because they are life is in hands of two hosts so they have to go from one to another in between there are losses of cells and stages so they need to have someone they need to have an ability to reproduce more so that if they are producing lakhs of sporozoites even if 90,000 is wasted 10,000 will be there but if they produce 10,000 and if 9,000 is gone chances of survivability will be less so you know about human liver fluke it's called fasciola hepatica liver fluke is known as fasciola hepatica you must have seen you will be seeing in practical this specimens. This chapter is having practicals where you are going to see the live specimens. If you want to refer now, you can refer in the OLAB and okay. It will be coming spotting where you have to look into the liver fluid specimen and identify and write. Okay. So it has intermediate hosts like snail or fish from where it completes the life cycle. Apart from that, malarial parasites to be discussed a lot. Okay. So once they are inside the host, some parasites are not that dangerous. They will not kill the host. They will just weaken them, cause disease. Once done, they come out by treatment. And some of them are, for example, HIV. So these are types of parasite like human lice, ticks on dogs. Okay, here in the eye of fish you can see the parasite, or you can talk about Cuscuta. All of them are ectoparasites. Some of them are endoparasites like roundworm, tapeworm, liver flu. अभी मैंने देखा था कि किसी के न्यूज में था कि किसी इंसान की पेट काट के इतनी सारी बहुत निकाली गई, वो इंसान एकदम पतला हो गया है, तो वो जो भी खाता है वो ही खा जाते हैं. It is really sad. You should be careful about the food you are eating. So, some more on the ectoparasites. Details about endoparasites. Now, we will talk about a very selfish animal, which is cuckoo. This type of parasitism is called brood parasite. Brood. What they do, they are parasitic blood. They hate rearing their children. उसका झमेला हमें चाहिए. कुछ इंसान भी ब्रूड पैरासाइट होते हैं, अनाथ आश्रम में बच्चे को छोड़ के आ जाते हैं. They are that kind only. So what they do, they lay eggs into the specifically many a times it is observed that the eggs of cuckoo and crow are similar. So they lay eggs in the nest of the crow, and after laying the nest, what they do is they allow the crow to nurture the egg. Crow is foolish and good-hearted maybe. So it will nurture the birds. And the saddest part is cuckoo's eggs hatch faster than crow. So they get strong faster. Many a time it is observed that they are destroying the nest eggs of the crow. And crow is victimized. This is a kind of brood parasite. Okay. Now we will talk about commensalism. Here someone is getting benefited but other person doesn't have any problem. For example, orchids growing on mango tree. It has dissimilarity with Cuscuta. Remember, Cuscuta is growing on tree because it is taking nutrition from the tree. So it is a parasite. But in case of orchids, they are only hanging on tree. They are self-dependent. They can go for photosynthesis. They have roots which are green in color. These are called assimilatory roots. And they are producing their own food. Only thing is they are going for shelter. And by staying there, they are not causing any benefit to the plant, not causing any harm. So this kind of relationship is known as commensalism. For example, barnacles. Barnacles are small organisms which are growing on the back of whale. Whale को कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है, they are growing. What are barnacles? Abhi we talked about balanus and all. No? They are all barnacles. They are looking as if they are having blistered skin. That's why they are called barnacles. So they are growing on whale. You can see the barnacles growing on the surface of whale. It doesn't matter to whale, but they are getting protection. They are getting free ride because whale is moving from one place to another. Cattle ergate and grazing cattle. Cattle ergate are always stay close to the cattle. These birds, white birds are called because they are eating the like what happens as the cattle move, the vegetation like cattle is going running in the grassland. As we will shake the grassland, so insects will come out of that. They will catch it. कौन जाए ढूंढे? Let's utilize cattle. How intelligent they are. क्या? नहीं cattle को कुछ फायदा नहीं है. So next is sea anemone and clownfish. You can see sea anemones are a type of not coral. They are coming under Coelenterans. Okay, so these sea anemone and clownfish, which is getting benefited. So clownfish are comfortably staying in the sea presence of sea anemone because they are having stinging cells. So no big animal is there to come there. क्योंकि sea anemone उसको sting करेंगे. They belong to the same phylum of Hydra. If you can understand, Hydra have nematocyst, which is single story. They are Coelenterans. That means nematoda. Nidaria. Sorry. Okay. So this is the benefit they get. Now we will talk about mutualism. This is the one Yesha was referring that हम गैंग बना लेते हैं और आपस में काम बांट लेते हैं. Like we are sharing a perfect mutual relationship. Any day you can cause harm to me, but I am harmless. Okay. So lichen is example. For you know it about it, I am not referring. Fungus and cyanobacteria. So algae is producing food and fungus is giving the protection and absorption. So these are lichens. Then mycorrhiza. These are vascular or vascular mycorrhiza. It's a fungi. It grows in the root of plant, and you can see how it increases the surface area of absorption, and it also helps in the solubilization of phosphate, sulfur. May convert the phosphate and sulfur present in the soil into form which plant can uptake. What is the benefit it is getting? It's getting carbohydrates from the plant, getting food. In mutualism, if you can remember, while reproduction, we talked about figs and grass. I showed you one very nice video which says about a special kind of pollination. And I told you many a times when we are eating anjeer, maybe some dead bodies of insects we are. Huh? That is good, but you should not. सच दुनिया में सबसे सुंदर होता है. हम उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाते. वो तो मैंने आपको बताया नहीं. हनी इज उल्टी ऑफ मधुमक्खी. To all vegetarian people, be aware before eating anjeer. Nothing like that. Although the insect is there, its body is decomposed, and you cannot ऐसे खाते अच्छा insect का ये लगता है. This can be an inspiration to you to go to China and eat insect. So Mishka is not interested in eating insects. She is interested in eating anjeer. But one thing I can be sure of, next time she is eating anjeer, she is going to open up and check. So fig species, I am not talking about this because we already discussed that fixed species for pollination go inside and the female dies. Okay, after pollination of okay, after laying eggs, and when new wasps are coming, they will break that egg and come out. So it is beneficial for both. Why? Because wasp is getting a place to lay eggs, which is protected, and pig is getting a chances of pollination. So it is beneficial for both. Um, in some cases, in case of orchids, it may be in some cases beneficial for the plant. So orchid is coming under commensalism as well as mutualism. Why? Because orchids many a time have very attractive flowers, which can attract the insects, which can do the pollination for the other plants. So this orchid can be having mutual relationship with the bee or wasp. So bee or wasp can come to these orchids and they can pollinate other orchids, not the host plant. होस्ट के साथ उसका रिलेशन होस्ट नहीं उसके साथ जो रहता है बड़े ट्री उसके साथ उसकी रिलेशन क्या है कॉमन से बट इंसेक्ट एंड ऑर्किड के बीच का रिलेशनशिप क्या है डू नॉट गेट वन ओके so in mutualism there is this ophidus this also we studied if you can remember pseudo copulation the flower looks like female reproductive part and it copulates and during copulation it causes the transfer of pollen. So this is another thing. So Ophidus exactly look like the female body part of the insect. With this we are done with the chapter. Now I wish all of you to go through the textbook, see the questions and look into the NCERT examples also and let me know the doubts.